Hello. Hi, friends. It's Friday, so that means we're live. Hi. So I'm getting started a little bit late today. Life and things. I also feel like you're on an angle. Sorry, y'all. Hold, please. Okay. Here we go. How is everyone? I'm so glad to be here this week with y'all. Let's talk about the hair. Let's talk about it. When you want something and you ask for it and then you don't get what you want. Well, that's what happened here. So I should have actually put a picture up to show you guys of my inspiration picture and how far away that is from what's happening. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. I wanted blonde, but blonde. That is what I wanted. Clearly, what I got is this look. Headbands help, but y'all, it's just one of those things, right? Where I'm like, how is this? This is not what I asked for. So let me see if I can find. Okay, so there's a stylist here in Houston. Her name is Sarah Reyna, and she specializes in curly styles. So I follow her on Instagram. I think she's amazing. So I saw this on her Instagram. Sorry, my ring light is really glaring. So I saw that and I was like, yes, give it to me. I want it. Do you see the blonde? Do you see how just fabulous it is? So that was my inspiration picture. And then this is what I got. My friend Ellen put it really well. She's like, she's like, B. She calls me B. She's like, B, that fresh from the salon look? And I was like, yes. She's like, I feel like your hair is the opposite of that, which I thought was kind of funny. So, I mean, y'all, it's not terrible, right? But I just, no one asked for a root situation. Why would you pay to have, I don't know. So, I'm doing what I can. There's a lot of just trying to bring the blonde forward. But anyway, it's fine. It is what it is. How are you guys doing? Tell me where you are, who you are, what's going on. I'm so happy that you're here. We are live on Facebook on my Brandeis Nicole page. We are live in Style for Smart Cookies, my awesome Facebook group. Y'all get in there if you're not already. We are live on YouTube. So our topic for today is the 5 best ways to look good in loungewear. So, I'm having this moment, right, where I think 2021 started and I was like, it's a new day. I'm gonna start I don't know. I was just getting really tired of just constantly being in stretchy clothes. I got over that. I still really like them. But it was good to check in, right? Just check in with myself, be okay, do I still like this, or have I just defaulted to this and now I'm actually in a style rut? No one likes a style rut, right? So I recommend check in with yourself, right? What are you loving about your style currently? What feels oh man, if I could have this be different, I would. Because you can change those things, even sometimes within your own closet without shopping or spending any money. So there's that. What else is happening? Before we get into that, I had such a great time with the folks in Nutritional Freedom last week. It was just really great. So I was in their membership group and giving their members just some tips on how to effortlessly dress yourself at any size. And so I just think with all the diet culture that happens in January and just this time of year, I know it's technically February now, it's just really great to remind ourselves. I think I have these moments too, but to remind ourselves of if you understand fit and body shape, no matter what your size is, you can always style yourself and look and feel really great. So that's what was going on with that. So that was super fun. So chat me in the comments. Let me know that you're here. I want to say hello, and we will get into today's content. So 5 best ways to look good in loungewear. So these are things I want to share with you that I think if you are still like living in this loungewear moment, and either maybe it's feeling a little bit stale, or you feel like you kind of just like defaulted into like wearing the same things over and over, which like, I get it. We're not really going anywhere. Like I have like a set of like joggers I kind of like rotate through, but I still want style to feel inspirational to you. I still want you, like when you get dressed, for you to be like, yes, let's get at this day. So I'm going to talk to you about my 5 favorite tips and strategies for being able to make that happen. So number 1, let's talk about bottoms. You're going to have to figure out if you're going to go tapered or classic if you're doing sweats. So leggings, well, let's break it up into 2 things. There's going to be leggings, there's going to be sweatpants. If you're doing leggings, the thing you have to figure out is whether or not your body type needs full length or even 7/8 or capris. Most of us do not look good in capris. I have said that before. I will say it again. But even on the length of your torso and how your vertical proportions are spaced, meaning like from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, where's your torso, where's your belly button, where's your hip bone, like, you know, where's your bust line end, where's your natural waist start? Like those are all things that I look at to help you look as proportional as possible. A 7/8 on some of us still looks like a capri. On some of us, if you have shorter legs, that's all you need, because if you start bunching material up at the bottom, it's going to look sloppy. It's not going to give you the effect that you want. So when you're looking at leggings, length is actually really important. So like play around, try a 3/4, try a 7/8, try a full length and see what looks good. And I definitely recommend like put on a shoe. A lot of times you don't really get like the balance that you need to be able to see whether or not a silhouette is working when you're in bare feet. So put on a shoe, you know, your school pickup shoe, your curbside grocery shoe, you know, the places that we go now. Your mailbox shoe, going to get the mail, but put on some sort of footwear so you can really see the difference. I'd love to hear from you guys too. Like, have you experimented with like legging length and figured out what looks good? I know for me, like I can do a slightly cropped silhouette, like I can do full length or I can do a 7/8, but anything kind of like getting more toward like the bottom of my calf starts to look really wonky. I have a short torso. And so if I shorten my own leg line too much, it highlights how short my torso is, because you have like short, kind of long with like the pants. They're just like kind of long, but not long enough. And then like leg, and it just really chops up my body. So would love to hear from you guys if you've experimented with length of legging. Do let me know. So let's talk about sweatpants now. So for sweatpants, and I'm going to show you guys a couple examples, you really want to think about whether or not a tapered silhouette looks better on you or a more classic silhouette. So classic meaning like, you know, sweats. Remember sweats? If you don't really remember sweats, like look them up, like in the 80s, like sweats, right? Like you got like a big elastic waistband at the bottom. There's a lot of volume around your ankle versus some of the more tapered ones, which we've now started calling joggers. And I will say like joggers help me get back into sweatpants, right? Like sweats have never looked good on me. And like people are like, oh, joggers. I'm like, those are just sweatpants. But most joggers are more tapered at the bottom toward the ankle. It will completely change the shape of your body. Not your actual shape, right? But like the silhouette that you're kind of portraying. In my Style for Smart Cookies group, it's facebook.com/groups/Style for Smart Cookies if you're not in there. We had a super fun couple of threads this past week about like boiler suits or work suits. They're like the kind of like coveralls, but with sleeves, right? Who can wear them, like who they look great on, who they not look great on, is Target trolling us? You know, like we talk about all the real things in there. And so I did this post showing like a tale of 2 boiler suits, and one that had like kind of like a flared cropped leg and one that was more tapered. And it was just kind of like amazing to see the difference in those. I can show you guys a picture of that too. Yeah, I'm not up on my tech today. I should have had these things like ready to just like flash across the screen to be like super impressed. But I will show you guys what those looked like. But yeah, so that's in terms of your like tapered or classic, figuring out like, will regular sweats do the trick, or do you need more of that tapered leg? Most of us are going to look better in a more tapered leg. The reason for that is generally for any of us with your body shape, when you follow the natural contours of your body, you're doing the right thing. When you add volume to different places, that's when you have to start to think a little bit more about like what you're adding, what you're doing, how does that look? Is it really complementing and flattering your shape? So a more tapered leg in a jogger is going to naturally follow the contour of your leg, right? Like legs get smaller toward the ankle. And so that's generally going to be a more flattering silhouette. So I have a few examples. There's a little bit more Moira Rose, you guys. Okay, let me just share my screen so you guys can see. Okay. I just heard a crash, which means there are kittens downstairs doing stuff. That's what that means. All right, so we go here. Hello, offline jogger. So these are kind of my current obsession. They are from AE.com or Aerie. So a few things that I love about them. First, oh my gosh, you guys, they have a new color they didn't have before. Love. But so what I love about these is they have a really, really high waistband, which I prefer. The high rise, I think, is flattering like on most, right? But for me, it works especially well when I have more in the middle, because I need fabric to be able to come up and over my stomach. If it just kind of like stops, typically it rolls down, it's uncomfortable. I don't feel as like secure or covered. And so having a high waistband is really helpful for me. I also like that it's foldable, right? Like you can like pull that sucker all the way up and have it be flat if you want. You can roll it down. And I will say I have these. When you roll it down, it doesn't create a lot of extra like volume or like extra material or like bagginess. It actually does lay pretty smooth. So what I like about that is I can have that, you know, kind of showing like underneath a sweatshirt or something, and have it still look really cute. And then as you can see here, it's just like the taper. You know, you've got like a great tapered leg. This is something you could probably cuff this actually, like the cuff at the bottom if it was too long for you, but they do make them in, it's not showing it here. The size, I think they do, because I bought that. Yeah, so they have short and they have long, which I very much appreciate. Size range up to XXL, not like a super diverse set of sizes, right? But if the size set works for you, I do appreciate that they do have like the short and the long available in most sizes. I have a long inseam for my height. So I have a pair of the regular and the long. The long come all the way down to my ankle, which is great. I don't mind the like slightly cropped look of the regulars on me, but just something to take note of. Like I think they are supposed to be a little bit more cropped, right? So she's 5'11". You can see where that comes to on her, just to give you a sense. So really enjoying these for that more tapered silhouette. But then you also have like the classics, right? You have, you know, something like this, right? Where I'd say these are still kind of tapered, but like these are more classic sweats. These tend to work as well on me because the material is stiffer. So I need a lot more stretch usually in my clothing to kind of like drape on the lines of my body. If it feels like something has like a mind of its own in terms of the fabrication, it usually makes me look puffy, if that makes sense, because you can't really see where my body is in the material. That said, to each their own, right? Like I think if you have more of a straight body type, these can be really, really great. And so this also leads me into my second tip, which is sets. You got to coordinate. Sets are a really easy way to be able to get a look, like a stylish look. And like sets have come a long way, right? Like I remember having sets when I was like 8. Right? Like my aunt would like pick up, we'd go to Great America and she would like dress us in matching sets, me and my cousin Tasha. And I feel like as adults, like we don't do sets as much, but like these like jogger sets have like been around for a little while. Like people like really loving them. Like you get like all different kinds of colors, right? The tie-dye trend is not going anywhere either. So I think this is kind of fun. And it's just one of those really easy ways to look like you got dressed while still like being and looking very comfortable. So I would say sets, coordinate your look. That's my tip number 2. So number 1, figure out if you're going, what length you're looking for in leggings, and if you're doing sweats, if you're doing, tapered or classic. And then my tip number 2 is do a coordinated set. It's a really easy way to get some style points while still looking really cute and being comfy. My third, and I'm going to come back on screen for this one. So my third tip is really, oh, sorry, y'all. Now I'm in Excel has opened up. It's like a thing where I always say I'm going to turn off all my windows and then I don't, and now I'm lost. So the third thing that I would share is tonal colors. So if a set feels a little too matchy to you, which is fine, I totally get it. I really like to do tonal colors. So I might have, say, a somewhat tie-dyed, sweatshirt on with pinks and berries and things like that. And then I have a pair of joggers that are in kind of a mauve, right? So they do coordinate without being an exact matching set. You can always do, I think black on black looks a little unimaginative. I'm just going to say that. But you could always do 2 shades of gray, right? Or there's a really fun blue out right now that I'm seeing in lots of places. It's kind of like a slate blue. It's got a lot of coolness to it. So you could do that and a navy, right? So definitely think about going tone on tone as a way to liven up your outfit a little bit while still looking really cute and really comfy. My fourth best strategy for looking great in loungewear is footwear matters. What you put on your feet, it's like the pièce de résistance. I'm making that up. It's not really a pièce to anything, but it really matters in terms of pulling your whole look together or really dragging it down. So one of the things about loungewear, right, is we know you're not really working out. We know you're not really just laying around your house. I mean, we kind of are, right? But it's a trend. It's a look. So you kind of want to respect it in that way of an actual stylish thing that you're doing. And so your footwear has to step up in that regard. So some of my favorites for that are going to be any slip-on sneaker. Vince makes them. Steve Madden. There's a lot of inexpensive styles that they make. So just a cute slip-on sneaker. Never going to steer you wrong. Always looks polished. You could do something the slip-on sneakers from Rothy's, or the little tie-up ones from Allbirds. I just found a really cute leopard print pair from Reebok, y'all. I live, right? So there's ways to do that. The Reebok ones are not slip-on. I usually I'm lazy. I don't want to tie anything unless I'm actually exercising. But the Reebok ones are really cute. Maybe I'll put those up later. So just think about your footwear. Also, your footwear doesn't have to be athleisure, right? So I have a pair of lug sole boots that look so cute with joggers. So don't be afraid to wear booties or wellies or, just something that doesn't have to be a sneaker with your loungewear. There's going to be a only so far you can take that, right? I wouldn't put on a loafer, a penny loafer. You want to kind of stay in the vibe of making sure things are loungy. But that said, there's more to it than just a regular slip-on sneaker. So lug sole boots are really great. Block heel boots are really great. Anything that looks a little bit more rough and tumble or workwear, work meaning not office, but Timberlands, those sorts of boots are going to look really great. And then my last tip in terms of the best ways to look really great in loungewear is to commit. So I talked about this a little bit before in terms this is a trend. So you've got to respect it as a trend to make it look as great as it can, and not just I'm just in my comfies and there's no style to that. So 2 different ways I want to talk about how you can commit. One, we've already kind of talked about just commit to the lifestyle, right? If it's going to look easy and breezy and athleisure-y, get into those sets, do the comfy casual thing, make sure your footwear is hitting the mark, but really get into the lifestyle vibe of it's supposed to look like athleisure or loungewear, right? The other side of that coin is what I'm going to call opposites attract. So like it is loungewear, but there's a way to do it that is more like Diane Carroll than like actual athletes. I was going to try and think of another Diane, and now I can't. So there's a way to do it where you kind of like zhuzh up the loungewear. So let me share my screen again. And there's this little set I found that I'm kind of obsessed with. Okay, so we've seen these. Okay, so this set from Eloquii. I mean, y'all, can we just like live for a moment? How fabulous is this? It's fabulous. Right? So like thinking out of the box too, where you can either like live the lifestyle of that like very much like athleisure look, it's familiar, it's comfortable, we know what that is. You can also do opposites attract is what I'm calling it, of like the opposition of something like satin or, you know, like a little bit of lace or something like that. Loungewear can be really, really pretty and really, really sophisticated and kind of glam if you let it, right? Like if you want it to be. So just putting that out there, you know, if you feel like traditional loungewear is not your thing, like, honey, you could lounge in this all day long. That looks very comfortable. Would I go and get the mail on this? I sure as heck would. And I would wager that these are machine wash. Yeah, machine wash cold, gentle cycle, like no big deal, right? So just always keep in mind too, most mass market produced things are going to be machine washable and very easy to care for. Like they're aware, like consumers are not trying to like dry clean a whole bunch of stuff. So like don't let like the shine or the glam or the whatever of something turn you off to the durability or the wearability of it. Cause like this is fire. She looks amazing. So that's that. I will show you guys my little Reebok sneakers while we're here. They're called the Run Swift. You guys might already know all about these. I'm really into the leopard, but I also tried on, there's like a beige or kind of like an off-white, and like I'm not like a white sneaker person. I know a lot of people are. I am not. But the off-white was like super cute. Super cute. But I'm also a fan of the leopard. If you wear a 10, don't buy them. I only say that because I wear a 10 and I don't want you to buy them all up before I get mine. I'm just kidding. Please get them if you love them. But like, aren't those cute, y'all? I think they're cute. But so here is the kind of like off-white. I think they look a little bit more white on screen, but they're like a really nice kind of like soft beige. I'm probably not going to get them because like I don't want to have to keep up with keeping them clean, but they really did like pull, like I just had on like whatever joggers, right? When I was returning something at Nordstrom and I saw these and they looked, I mean, they really did like pull my outfit together. Okay, I thought I clicked on the right thing. You get the picture. So yeah, so you can see they're kind of like it says white, but I think they're an off-white. And they maybe look like super simple, but like the way that they fit on the foot, they look really actually very tailored. And I really love them. I'm never going to run in them because I don't run. But so I cannot comment on whether or not you should run in them. But I will tell you, like, they were super cute. Okay, so that wraps up today's live, sharing 5 of my favorite ways to look really great in loungewear. I'm curious about your favorite ways too. So please feel free, if you're watching the replay, you know, like show up in the comments, let me know what's on your minds about like either tips and tricks that like you follow and want to share with others, or any comments on anything you learned from today's session. So great to be here as always. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and participating and all the good stuff. And I will see you next time. Cheers.